Hello, welcome to the Supplier training.
For today's agenda, we're going to talk about a few things with Altriva. The first is the requirements that you need to use Altriva. The second will be the benefits that you as a supplier will see. The third will be the supplier process. We refer to this as the ASAP process. We'll get into that shortly. How to recall a shipment and how to do a reschedule request.
All right, some of the requirements that we have are you will need an internet connection and a web browser, Internet Explorer, Chrome, something like that. You will need to have the eBots printer software installed on the PC that will be printing the labels. We will go over how to get that in just a few moments. If you're using a Mac, that eBots printer software, it's not required. So you can just ask your buyer to make a configuration change so that you can print the labels from the browser itself. You will need a printer, whether that's a label printer or an inkjet or laser printer, and label stock or paper for that. And Altriva is here at no cost to you. It does have some real-time color-coded visibility for you. You can see a more predictable demand and fewer expediting, no duplicate orders. You can see the full replenishment cycle. You can see where everything is in the process. This is automated and streamlined for you. And there will be alerts for exception handling. And you can see that consolidated demand across all divisions if you're supplying to more than one division. And you will be able to have some performance tracking in here after you get a little bit of history built up after using it for a few weeks. And for a fee, if you would like, these orders can be integrated into your ERP system, and the shipments can be as well.
So the supplier process, that we refer to it as the ASAP process, the first step will be accepting the orders. The second step will be ship the material, and the last step will be print the label.
And with that, we are ready for our demo.
So your buyer or your contact at your customer should have provided you with a URL in which you'll need to navigate to in your internet browser, as well as a set of credentials, a username and password, so that you can log in. Once logged in, this will be what your home screen looks like in Altriva. There's a few items on this home screen that we're going to go through to explain their features for you. The first is this inventory health box. In inventory health, you'll see a red, yellow, and green status, and there'll be a number in each of those boxes. That denotes how many items are in each of those categories. So you can see within the red, which signifies that we have a high stockout risk, we don't have any items. In the yellow, we have one item that has medium stockout risk, and in the green, we have 5 items with very low stockout risk. If we wanted to see what items were in each category, we could simply click on that box, and the system will tell you which item that is. We can also, within the screen, click on the View Details button, and the system will list your open orders. The second thing that we want to go through on this is the alerts box here. You'll see that we don't have any new alerts at this time, but your customer can configure the system to send you alerts for specific things that happen, such as they ask you to reschedule an order. They can send an alert there that will appear in this screen. They may also configure to send you an email. It could also be maybe your buyer has attached a note to an item that they want you to review. You might find an alert there. So you want to keep an eye on this to see if there's any alerts popping in that you want to take a look at.
Right, next we have the order tracking section, and it shows the orders that have not been acknowledged or accepted yet. We can hover our mouse over this and get a few more details here. Then we have orders that are past due for shipping, orders that are expected today, which includes the past due, and then orders to be shipped in the next 7 days, which also does include the past due ones as well. And each of these are clickable here. So we will go ahead and click on the 12 that have not been accepted or acknowledged yet, and that will take us to our first step here so that we can actually accept those cards. And if you see on this screen, we are on the accept items list. We have several filters to choose from. The first box is the plant. We can, if we supply to more than one plant, they both might be listed here, and we could choose which plant that we want, or we could choose all. The same with the cards. We can show the ones that all of them are the ones that are past due or due today or due in the future. And we could choose the items list or cards list here. And we do have several other options as well. But if we make a change to any of these, we do need to press the Go button for that change to take effect. And right now, we're seeing our supplier item numbers and our descriptions. How many are waiting at run line if there is a run line or minimum order quantity. If it's waiting for a PO, that means the card's been released to us, but we're waiting for that PO from our customer before we can acknowledge or accept those cards. Next, these are the ones that are released to us. We don't have anything waiting for approval or recall at this time. But in this column, if we wanted to, we could click the 2 orders for this particular item, or the 6 for this item, or if we wanted to, at the bottom, we could click all 12 of these. So once we click that, we can acknowledge or accept some of these orders. So if you want to accept or acknowledge everything on the screen, you can put a check mark in the top box, and that will check mark all of them. I'm maybe just going to accept a few of these here. If you have a work order number, it's optional. It just might be a number that you want to keep track of things. You can also see the PO number is here. And so once you're ready, and you put a check mark in the ones you're ready to acknowledge, we can go ahead and click the Accept button. Okay, it lets us know that these are accepted. So we can go back to the cards list to accept more cards, or we can click on the back to items list. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and click here again. One thing I did want to point out, if you're not seeing what you want, if at any time, if you wanted to, you can click this Change Filter button. And now maybe someone has called us to say, hey, we just released this particular PO number, and we want you to accept that and get it shipped to us pretty quickly. We can filter our search results here by PO number equals to, and we can type in that PO number that they gave us. Okay. All right, and then we'll click the Go button. All right, so as you can see, I probably mistyped the PO number. I think I added an extra 9 here, so I'm going to go ahead and click that Go button again. All right, so yes, now we have all of these orders for this PO that we can accept and get shipped out pretty quickly. So I'll go ahead and accept that. And then we'll click the go back to items list here. And oh, hey, we're getting this. We do not have any more. But hey, we know we do have a few more things that we needed to acknowledge. So one nice thing here, we have this eraser button or this clear filter button. We'll go ahead and click that. And yes, indeed, we do have a few more things that we could accept. So this is how you accept the card. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll click back on the home button.
And now maybe we accepted a few orders, but we're not sure of the date that the customer is requesting. So we want to tell them that we need to change that date. We're going to do this by sending a reschedule request. So we'll do this by going to the Actions menu. And then we'll find the Reschedule Request option here. We'll go ahead and click that. And you'll notice the screen has a very similar set of filters available at the top. It's currently showing us all of the items that we have cards available or cards that are open, we've not yet shipped. We could select if we were shipping to a particular plant at our customer to filter by a specific plant. Under the cards, we can look for cards that are past due or due within some interval. Within show, we could show either the list of items that we have open orders for, or we could go ahead and show all of the cards or orders by line. Under category, we could select a specific type of part, whether it's a forecast part, Kanban, or virtual. And lastly, over there we have the RYG. If we were looking for a red part, a yellow part, or green part, we could restrict the data by that. Again, we could also use our filter by conditions, just like we did with the purchase order number before, to pull up the orders for that particular purchase order. We're going to go ahead and select one of these items. We'll do the first item here. We can highlight that and then click on Show Cards, or we can just click directly on the item number. Now we'll see that we have two orders for this part. We're going to select the first one, and we're going to put in a new date, a date that we can commit to. You can see that our customer was supposed to receive this on September 2nd. That hasn't happened. We need to give them an updated date. So we're going to select a new date, and we'll put that for September 15th, which is a few days in the future. And then if we have populated reschedule reasons, we can select them from this box here. And now we can either do the attach notes option. If we want to put in a note to the buyer, we can tell them that material will arrive on September 14th, and we will ship the following day on September 15th. Now, this box at the bottom, apply these notes in priority to all selected cards. If you would have selected multiple orders in the previous screen, that's kind of behind this one, that you wanted to reschedule, selecting this box would apply the note to every order that you had selected. If you don't select this box, it's only going to do the highlighted order, or the one that appears in green behind this. So we're going to go ahead and click from this screen, the reschedule. We do have that selected, that if we had more than one order to reschedule, it would have done all of them or applied the note to all of them. Now we have rescheduled this, and we can mouse over this little icon, and it'll tell us that we have material arriving on September 14th and we'll ship the next day. The buyer will also have access to this information when they look at this order. There can also be, they may have an alert set up to send them an email or to put it in their home screen whenever you attach a note to an order, that this will put it right in front of them, so they don't even have to look for this. The system will notify them.
Okay, now that we have the reschedules out of play, reschedules done, we can go ahead and ship our orders and work on that. So from here, we could get there from the home screen from the order tracking, or we can also go to Actions, Ship, and we can ship the goods from there as well. Now, before we get too far into this, if you have never printed labels before from Ultriva, you will need to download that eBots printer software. So before we do that, so in order to do that, you can click on the Help button up here. Once we click on Help, it will open up the Ultriva Help portal. If you scroll down, you will see the link for the Ultriva eBots printer services, and you can choose the appropriate link for you, whether you supply to Emerson or not. So either the first or second one. And once you download that software, you install that and configure it. If you need help on how to do that, we do have a little install tutorial. Also, when you download the software, there is a readme.pdf so that you can look at that PDF. It has the step-by-step instructions plus a little troubleshooting section as well, so be sure to follow that. Once that piece is done, now you're ready to print. So, like the other screen, we have our choice of filters here. We can choose plants, We can choose all or past due. This is very important. If you're not seeing everything, you want to make sure that this is set to all. We have our items list or card list, the category, product line, commodity code, red, yellow, green. All these are additional filters, and the same here. If we needed to look for a specific PO, we could do that as we demonstrated with accepting cards. So maybe we need to go ahead and ship this item here. We can click this. And if we look, this very first thing, there is an icon here. We're not allowed to check mark that to ship it. If we hover our mouse over that, it tells us what the issue is. It's waiting for reschedule approval. So you might want to contact the buyer and let them know you can't ship that. If, as you are doing the shipping, if you see something under here, like this says lot number, that means you do need to enter the lot number for this item. This is totally optional. You may or may not need to do this. But if you do, you would just click that and we would put in our lot number. And the quantity, and so we've got 3. And so our lot quantity total is here, our card quantity total is here. We'll go ahead and say done. If we needed to enter in a packing slip number, we could do that. And then we go ahead and do ship. And it tells us it's shipped but not printed yet. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click back to cards here. We're going to maybe ship a couple more things. I'll show you some other details here. All right, so maybe we'll go to, I'm only showing the first 10 of 13. Maybe what I'm looking for is on the next page here. So same as the other screen, we can put a check mark in the top box. It'll check mark everything else underneath. All right, and maybe we're going to ship a couple more things here, but we're not going to ship 10. Maybe we need to change our ship quantity. Maybe we only have 8 in a box here for these 2 things. So we can change our ship quantity here, and for our packing slip number, if we wanted to put that in here as well, we can put this in up at the top and click the apply to all button here. So whatever we have check marked is going to be applied down here. And once we are ready, we go ahead and click the ship button. Okay, this is telling us that we are shipping some of these cards out of tolerance, meaning we are not shipping the full card quantity here. So we do have to confirm this. So we need to check mark both of these and confirm that we have not, or that we know we are not shipping that full quantity here. So we'll go ahead and confirm. All right, and we can go ahead and print these cards here. I didn't point that out the last time, so we'll go ahead and print. And then your label prints to your label printer, and you'll affix those to the box as you normally would.
So we can see on the screen that the system says, please use master label to complete the shipment process. This means that the customer has configured your site or your portal to require you to print a master label, which will encompass all of the orders that you're shipping within one single shipment. It will be tied into one barcode for them to scan to process the receipt for everything. So we have the option from the screen when the system tells you here. We can click the button here to navigate to the master label. We'll go ahead and click it, and it's taken us to the master label screen. If we wanted to get to the screen from the home screen, we would simply, from any screen, click on Actions, and then we'll see the master label option here. We can go ahead and click this, and it will take us to that screen again. So on the screen, there's a couple things that we need to go through. The first is the plant. We need to ensure that we're looking at the right plant. So whoever the customer is that we're shipping to, we would select that there. We can click Go. We have a label status that says whether it's been created. We're looking for labels that have been created, labels that have been shipped, received, deleted, or consumed. You're primarily going to be adding a new label. So we can click here to see if we have a label that's already been created today. We do not, so we'll add a new master label. We'll do that by clicking Add. When we click Add, the system is going to show us that we have 2 cards or orders that have been shipped. For this sake, let's just select the first one. And we're going to create a new master label. And what's going to happen is we're going to create a new master label here, so you can see it on the screen. And this currently has 1 card attached to it. So let's say that you're starting to ship in the morning, and you're going to complete it at the end of the day. And maybe you've prepared a few more cards, and you want to add these to this master label so that you don't have to print 2 at the end of the day. So what we're going to do, we'll click on Edit with our master label selected. We have the option to do 2 things. One is to add cards. When we click on Add Card, you can see that it's showing us the other open order that has been selected or that we have shipped today. We didn't select it earlier. We'll go ahead and select it this time, and we'll simply click Add Cards to Master Label. Now you can see that we have 2 cards. Likewise, let's say that we added a card and we didn't intend to. So what we can do is we can click on Edit again. We can click on Remove Cards. And now we'll do the opposite of what we did before. We'll take that first one and we'll go ahead and we'll remove it from the master label. Now we can see that we only have 1 card left, right? The next process here, we'll go ahead and we will ship this master label. We can click on Ship and then click Ship Master Label. At this point, we can add our tracking number. We can select a carrier if the customer has pre-populated carriers for you. We could also attach notes to this master label if need be. The next step, we will click Ship Master Label. And now it says that we've successfully shipped it. You have 2 options at this point. One, if you had already printed your cards for every box, or the label for each order, you could simply click here, Print Master Label, which would be the first option. If you were waiting to print your labels for each box until the end of the day, you could select the Print Master and Child Cards option here, and that would print out all of the labels for you. Since we've already printed the others, we're just going to click Print Master Label. And then the system would print this to the printer that you had pointed it to. Now you can see that we have no master labels in this screen that are in the created or updated status. But within that label status option there, let's go ahead and select Shipped. And then we'll click Go. And we can see that we do have our master label sitting in the Shipped status.
All right, now that we have done our master label, maybe you did not have that tracking number available to you at that time. So what you can do is you want to add it now. So you can click on Actions, and there is a Set Tracking Number. And what you can do, this will show you things, all of the parts that have been shipped. And if you would like, you can click the item that you want, select Show Cards, and then give it that tracking number. We'll go ahead and check mark both of these. We do have a tracking number in here. Maybe that's not right. That looks like some dummy text. So maybe we can put in our new tracking number. And apply that new tracking number to all of them and do that set tracking number. And now that is updated successfully.
So another scenario that you might be faced with would be that I've accidentally shipped an order electronically, but I didn't ship it physically, so I want to undo that. We can do this by recalling that order. we'll go through the Actions menu, navigate to the Recall option. We'll see our set of filters that are all the items that we've shipped or are in transit still to our customer. We can look at or narrow the search by a particular plant. We can narrow it by when they were due. We could look at all of the orders or the items within the show. Or we could filter by purchase order number or some other piece of information that it might help us restrict the search or make it easier for us. We're going to go ahead and look at this first part. We'll click on that item and it will show us the orders that we've shipped. We'll select the first one and we'll say we electronically shipped this, but we actually didn't ship it. All we have to do to undo it is to select the item or the order itself and click Recall. We could also attach notes to it if we wanted to, so that we tell them that this was an error on our part. Maybe we thought we shipped it, but we didn't. This works very similar to doing a reschedule request. We can just type in whatever we need to here. And then we have the same box, apply this notes and priority to all selected cards. If we were doing more than one, this would be important. From here, we can go ahead and click Recall. Now the system is saying, okay, we've recalled this from the in-transit status. It's now an order that's waiting for you to be shipped. We're waiting for you to ship it.
Okay, so the next thing we'll go over is maybe you printed a label and you lost it, so we need to print that again. So we will go to Actions, Print Duplicate Cards, because it has been printed before, and we want to print it again. So similar filters as the other screens. You can see the information by plant, by when it is due, items list or cards list, the category red, yellow, green, or do a filter by for a specific PO or supplier item number or something like that. One thing, very important thing to point out is this items printed on or after date. If you, by default, this is going to be today's date, so you might want to back that up a few days in case it was printed earlier in the month or at a prior time. So maybe we're going to back this up to September 1st of 2015. And we're going to go ahead and click the Go button. All right, so now we have cards that were printed on or after September 1st. And we can go ahead and select the item or click Show Cards there. And maybe this is the one. Maybe we need to print both of these. Again because we lost them. So we'll put the check mark there, and we'll choose Print, and that will print out the duplicate labels for us. Okay. Okay, now that we have printed that, we'll jump back to the home screen here. And then we will come back to our PowerPoint slideshow here. This concludes our session for today. Here is some additional resources that are available to you for our help page, maybe some video training, and some how do I documents, and the label printer tutorial.